cut across the lane back there.
That's why I pulled you over.
No, sir.
I signaled and merged. There's a dash camera on if you'd like to review it.
Dash cams can be edited. I'm more worried about what you're carrying in this thing.
Mind if I take a look around?
I do mind. I'm on my way home from my daughter's recital, and I'd like to see how you're about the traffic stop.
The CCTV camera started recording before the officer even spoke. A black man stood on his own driveway, one hand still on his car door, the other holding a folded program from a children's piano recital. A white police officer stepped close, too close, and said loud enough for the neighbor's door cameras to hear, "This car doesn't match you. So let's stop playing games." What happened next would light up group chats, crack open city hall meetings, and end one career forever. Because the man being cornered on that quiet Ohio street was not who the officer thought he was. And the camera caught everything. Before we go any further, if stories like this matter to you, take 1 second to subscribe to the channel. These stories don't get told enough. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. City, state, or country, we read them all. Now let's get into it. "Hands where I can see them," Officer Daniel Whitmore said. Marcus Reed froze. His hands were already visible. One was resting on the open driver's side door of his midnight blue Lexus. The other held a white paper program with curled edges. The word recital was printed across the top in pink ink. "I just parked," Marcus said, slow and calm. "I'm home." Whitmore didn't respond. He stepped closer instead, boots scraping the concrete driveway like he owned it. "License. Registration," Whitmore said. "And don't make this harder than it needs to be." Marcus blinked once. Not fast. Not slow. Just once. Across the street, a woman paused while pulling her trash bin back up the driveway. A porch light clicked on somewhere. A phone camera tilted. The police SUV sat crooked behind Marcus's car, lights flashing blue and red against the windows of the houses like a warning nobody asked for. Marcus reached into his jacket, slowly, and Whitmore's hand dropped to his belt. "I said hands," Whitmore snapped. "They are," Marcus replied. His voice never rose. Whitmore exhaled through his nose, annoyed. "You changed lanes back there without signaling. 3 blocks back." Marcus shook his head. "No, I didn't." Whitmore smiled. Not with his eyes. "So now you're calling me a liar?" "No," Marcus said. "I'm saying that didn't happen." That was enough. Whitmore stepped into Marcus's space, chest forward, voice sharp. "Step away from the vehicle." "For what reason?" Whitmore laughed once. "For my safety." The camera blinked red. Marcus Reed was 35 years old. He worked long hours analyzing numbers most people never noticed. Bonds. Risk curves. Quiet money that moved louder than words. He drove carefully. Always had. He followed rules the way some people followed religion, because he had learned early that mistakes cost more when you looked like him. Tonight, he wore a charcoal polo shirt, pressed slacks, and brown leather shoes. His hair was trimmed clean. No chains. No loud colors. He had just come from his daughter Ava's piano recital. She had missed one note during her solo. Just one. Marcus had smiled anyway. She had smiled back, searching the crowd for his face before bowing. That smile was still sitting in his chest when the lights flashed behind him 3 blocks from home. Now, standing in his own driveway, Marcus felt something else pushing up behind it. That old, tight feeling. The one that said, "Be careful. Be calm." One wrong word and this becomes something else. Whitmore circled the Lexus slowly, like a man inspecting a problem. "Nice car," he said. "What do you do for a living?" Marcus didn't answer. Whitmore stopped and looked at him. "I asked you a question." "I'm not required to answer that," Marcus said. Whitmore nodded, pretending to think. "You live here?" Marcus gestured behind him. "That house. Number 48. Whitmore squinted at the brick home. 2 stories. Small porch. American flag hanging from a wooden pole. "Funny," Whitmore said. "I patrol this street all the time. Don't recall seeing you. I work late." "Aha." Whitmore leaned closer. "Car like this usually means drugs. Or stolen money." The words hung in the air. Across the street, the trash bin stopped moving. Marcus swallowed. "That's an assumption." Whitmore's smile faded. "You got something in the car I should know about?" "No." "You sure?" "Yes." Whitmore tapped the window. "Mind if I take a look?" "I do mind," Marcus said. "I don't consent to searches." Whitmore straightened up. His voice dropped. "You're getting real defensive for someone with nothing to hide." Marcus said nothing. "Step to the curb," Whitmore ordered. "I'm on my property. Now." Marcus stepped back, slow, until his heels touched the edge of the driveway. Another squad car rolled in. Then another. Neighbors were fully watching now. Curtains pulled. Phones raised. Whispers started. Whitmore raised his voice. You got any priors I should know about? No. You ever been arrested? No. Ever done time? No. Whitmore laughed again. Louder this time. Man, you expect me to believe that? Marcus looked him dead in the eye. Yes. For a moment no one spoke. The wind moved through bare trees. A dog barked somewhere far off. The body camera kept blinking. Whitmore stared at Marcus like he wanted him to flinch. Marcus didn't. That seemed to anger him most. Whitmore turned to the second officer. Run him. The officer typed into his cruiser computer. Minutes passed. Whitmore leaned in again. You know, you people always think staying calm makes you smart. Marcus's jaw tightened. Just a little. I am calm, he said. Because I know who I am. Whitmore scoffed. Sure you do. The radio crackled. The second officer looked up. His face changed. Oh, Dan, he said quietly. You might want to come see this. Whitmore walked over, annoyed. He glanced at the screen. What? Then again. What the hell? He muttered. Whitmore walked back slower this time. His tone had changed. Mr. Reed, is it? Yes. Whitmore cleared his throat. You ever work for the federal government? Marcus didn't answer right away. A black SUV turned onto the street and parked behind the squad cars. No lights. Just presence. Two men stepped out. Dark suits. Earpieces. The street went quiet. One of them spoke. Marcus Reed? Marcus nodded. Sir, the man said, we've been trying to reach you. Whitmore's face drained of color. Marcus finally spoke. I was 3 blocks from home, he said softly. That's all. And that was where everything began to fall apart. The street felt smaller now. Not because more people had arrived, but because power had shifted, sudden and heavy like a storm dropping straight down instead of rolling in. Officer Daniel Whitmore stood stiff beside his cruiser. His hands were no longer relaxed. One hovered near his radio, unsure what to do with itself. The 2 men in dark suits didn't raise their voices. They didn't need to. One of them stepped forward again. His name was Caleb Morrow. Tall, calm. The kind of man who never rushed because nothing ever made him. Officer, Caleb said, nodding at Whitmore's body cam, just keep that running. Whitmore swallowed. Who are you people? The second man spoke this time. Jonah Pike. Shorter. Broader. Eyes sharp like broken glass. Department of Treasury, Jonah said. Special Enforcement. That word landed hard. Treasury. Across the street someone gasped. A phone zoomed in tighter. Whitmore let out a nervous laugh. Treasury? This is a traffic stop. Caleb looked past him, straight at Marcus. Sir, are you okay? Marcus nodded once. I am. Caleb turned back to Whitmore. Then you can step back. Whitmore didn't move. I'm the senior officer on scene, Whitmore said. This man refused a search and you assumed his car was stolen, Marcus said calmly. Whitmore spun toward him. I never said. You did, Marcus replied. On camera. The red light blinked again. Caleb took a breath. Officer Whitmore, do you know who Marcus Reed is? Whitmore stared at him. I don't need to. Jonah tapped a button on a small tablet and turned the screen outward. Marcus Reed's face appeared on it, along with words that didn't belong to the man standing barefoot on his own driveway. Deputy Director, Financial Crimes Task Force Presidential Appointment Top-Level Security Clearance. Whitmore's mouth opened slightly. Marcus spoke before the silence could stretch any longer. I help track money, he said. The kind that ruins cities. The kind that buys drugs, guns, people. He looked around the street. The houses. The neighbors. The watching children. I work with people who don't knock, he continued. And people who don't miss. Whitmore's face went pale. You're law enforcement? Whitmore asked. Marcus shook his head. No. That was worse. I oversee law enforcement, Marcus said. The neighbors erupted in whispers. A woman across the street covered her mouth with her hand. The second squad car officer stepped back like the ground had moved. Whitmore stammered. I didn't know. I swear. If I had known. That's the problem, Marcus said. He finally stepped forward. Not aggressive. Not loud. Just steady. You didn't know, Marcus said again. And you treated me like I didn't belong here. Whitmore tried to speak. Marcus raised one finger. Whitmore stopped. I was coming home from my daughter's piano recital, Marcus said. She missed one note. Just one. And she looked at me like the world might end. His voice cracked, but only a little. I told her mistakes are okay, he said. That people will judge you wrong sometimes. But you keep standing. He looked Whitmore in the eyes. And then I got pulled over. Caleb nodded toward Whitmore's camera. This footage is live uploaded. Whitmore froze. What? Jonah spoke flat. City servers. Federal mirrors. Whitmore's knees looked weak now. Internal Affairs has already been alerted, Caleb continued. So has the mayor's office. Whitmore shook his head fast. This is a misunderstanding. Marcus tilted his head. Is it? He turned to the neighbors. Did anyone hear him say my car was too nice for me? Marcus asked. Hands rose. Slowly. Then more. Did anyone hear him ask if I had drugs? Marcus asked. More hands. Whitmore's voice broke. I was just doing my job. Marcus nodded. So was I. Every time I stayed calm. Every time I didn't raise my voice. He stepped back. Caleb turned to Whitmore. Officer Daniel Whitmore, you are relieved of duty effective immediately. Jonah held out his hand. Badge. Weapon. Whitmore stared at them like it wasn't real. Now, Jonah said. With shaking hands, Whitmore removed his badge. The metal clinked when Jonah took it. The sound echoed. Whitmore's gun followed. The neighbors watched as the man who had stood tall minutes ago now looked small. Very small. No one cheered. No one clapped. The quiet felt heavy but clean. Marcus leaned against his car. His legs finally felt tired. Caleb walked over. You handled that with grace. Marcus smiled faintly. I had practice. Across the street, the woman with the trash bin wiped her eyes. A teenage boy lowered his phone and whispered, Dang. The second officer stood frozen, shame written all over his face. Marcus looked at him. You can still choose better, Marcus said. The officer nodded. Art. Yes, sir. Caleb's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Press is already on the way. Marcus sighed. Of course they are. Jonah smirked. You don't get quiet nights, do you? Marcus looked up at his house. At the porch light glowing warm. I do, he said. I protect them. Whitmore was placed in the back of a cruiser. Not arrested. But not free. His career ended right there on that street. Within days the footage would spread. The city would settle. Millions. Training would be re-evaluated. Statements would be issued. But tonight it was just a man standing in his driveway breathing again. Marcus turned to Caleb and Jonah. I'm going inside, he said. My daughter's waiting. He walked up the steps. Before he went in he turned back once. To anyone watching, he said quietly looking at the cameras, you never know who someone is. He paused. So lead with respect. Then he went inside. The porch light stayed on. If this story moved you, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss stories that matter. And answer this in the comments. Do you think moments like this really change anything, or do they just get buried? We want to hear your voice.